what got the offense going there? I guess what did you see from Dreiling in that spot, and were you surprised that they went to a lefty for the lefty-lefty matchup and pulling Ullman there?
Not terribly surprised. I mean, Herring's about as good of an arm as you're going to get. You probably saw some really bad swings or chases at times off him, and that's because there's really good stuff there and a lot of deception. He threw really well against us down there in Baton Rouge. So the bottom line is Dylan was ready, and then also I would attribute it to there clearly could have been frustration throughout, not just early in the game, but throughout the game on the offensive end, and our guys just kept pushing. And then I was extremely encouraged by the attitude in the dugout where some of those innings ended in frustration and everybody was all about let's go play defense, because obviously we were going to need our defense today. So I don't know if it's a concrete wall, it's probably not going to get pushed over, but if you keep pushing on a wall, you don't know which push is necessarily going to knock that thing over or move it or tilt it. And it was kind of the whole day, really. It was kind of a gutty effort led by Drew Beam.
What are some of those characteristics that allow him to be a guy that's really good in those situations?
Beam? Dylan? I think kind of a slow heart rate, I think, is one of them. I mean, I think he wants to be in those spots and is a really good teammate. And I think, rarely is he trying to do too much. You might see he sees the ball real well and takes a big swing, but rarely is he trying to do too much. I remember early in the year he had a big 0-2 homer that carried out to right pretty well, but it was a real short, simple swing. So like anything, I think it's probably a list of things, but he's a hard worker. He's played a ton of baseball. He wants to be in those situations, and I don't think he creates, whatever's going on, I don't think he makes a monster or a big mountain out of it. He just, like I said, he was ready.
Tony, how tough is it to work around traffic as much as Beam did today? That's just a lot of pressure pitches in a game.
That's you can't necessarily coach that at all, and you can't train for it in a bullpen, because it kind of takes some mental and physical stamina as well. And I would like to say his experience attributes to that a lot, but Drew's kind of been the same guy for 3 years, and I'm not saying he hasn't improved, and there's been some things that have gotten better, and he's worked on Frank, adding an off-speed pitch and things like that. He's more of a leader now, but you could also fall back on he's just always been whatever you stereotype a quarterback to be. I think 2 truths and a lie they threw out. He got offered by Tennessee football, and we know that's not true, but he was a good high school quarterback. And he's just got all those attributes. He's always had them, and he's built upon them. But that's a pretty unique deal to be able to do that and navigate through all that trouble.
Is there just a comfort in being in those moments that you maybe don't have in other guys?
I think the comfort is, I don't think any coach in this league is comfortable at any moment, to be honest with you. But there's a sense of this is our guy. And I believe Chris Burke, who did the game today, and fortunately we had him and Todd Helton in attendance today. You better not lose that game with those 2 guys both here. So it's nice we found a way to win. But was speaking with Chris, did the Alabama game when we left Drew Beam out there, even though he got off to a slow start. And he's our guy. And I regret to all get out a couple situations where maybe he didn't stay out there longer, or even a weekend where maybe he didn't get the ball. He's our guy, especially this year.
How good does it feel going into Sunday with an SEC series already wrapped up in terms of the series win?
Sunday's not here yet, so need to get some food and maybe a little UFC 300 and enjoy Saturday. And then when the sun comes up tomorrow, we might have the nicest weather of the weekend and maybe a little bit more of a set schedule. Today was kind of chaotic with the football game and kind of an odd time. And we got done really late last night too, so we'll throw on the cream uniforms. We expect another big crowd that will help us win and hopefully make it difficult on the opponent. But we'll attack tomorrow, like I said, when the sun rises.
You guys have won a lot of high-scoring games this year. What does it tell you to be able to kind of grit that one out tonight?
Well, we kind of talked in the outfield last night, and then it was a repeat speech. I couldn't get creative and talk about anything else. We're adding different ways to a Rolodex of ways to win games, which is nice. You'll take them any way you can get them, but I think today was low scoring and just real gutty. And last night was kind of winning ugly, in particular in some situations. But our guys had a really good vibe yesterday. I would say better than today. Like I said, today was just kind of an interesting schedule, with yesterday and today. But it doesn't matter what the circumstances are. You need to find a way to win, or at least have that will to find a way to win. And I think our guys had enough of that today.
Luke was obviously good, Holman, but did you notice anything from your batters? Maybe they're pressing those first 5 innings, or was
Not
it
really.
simply just
If you backtrack, some guys got into balls decently and just didn't fall for them or didn't get it enough. And then some guys were just under the fastball. We popped up a lot of pitches. And then, to me, there were some breaking ball mistakes or breaking balls that weren't as sharp at times as there was at the game, or that we've seen on video that guys could have been in a better position to hit. But, there's a lot of movement on the baseball, and my biggest thing with our offense is if our guys keep pushing forward and don't give up at bats, then eventually we can put something together, and you hope you play defense and pitch, and it's all enough in one day.
Anticipate Snead will be able to throw some more tomorrow.
He's gonna say he's good to. We'll wait, and we kind of always have conversations with our guys. It's an easy way to say hello in the morning, and instead of saying what's up or how's the weather, you say how you feel, and so we'll see how he feels and everybody else. But I would like to think, even if Stamos had to be pressed into action, you eliminate Causey and Beam, which is where we usually are going into a Sunday, and then we'll have conversations tomorrow and see what we can kind of piece together, and maybe there's some matchups in there and things like that.
How big is it to go to Banky and Snead there in those kind of high leverage roles and get that maybe something that helps the whole team? You talk about the Rolodex, the wins, is that part of it?
Yeah, no, Snead's capable of going in that situation as well. And Combsy's been down there for 2 nights, probably eager to get in the game, and he's been a big jam or get out of a jam type guy for us. But it's big to have Banky back in general, but also know that he's got the presence to come in those situations. Kirby's been around for so long, but I have the same vibe with Banky out there, and he showed it in a weird way tonight because, he walks the guy on 4 pitches. That is the guy we brought him in to get out, but we also brought him in just because we think he can get outs, and he keeps his composure and gets the 4-hole hitter out that, did a little damage last night, did damage against us last year, and is obviously a good player.
Anything else?
Thank you.
It seemed like there had to be a lot of stressful pitches in that game. They were kind of getting one guy on an inning, and he had to kind of work around it. Does that make 106 pitches feel like a little more?
Possibly. They're a good team, and they're not looking up there or getting up there and just looking at pitches. They're definitely coming out to swing. So that makes the game exciting, knowing that they're not just going to watch a pitch go by them. So competing with every pitch was really important, and give up whatever 8-9 hits, whatever it be. Just my goal was to keep them out of keep them touching the plate. So did a good job of that, hopefully. So gave us a win. So that's all I was excited about.
What did you have working for you?
I had a good mix of everything. I was really early, didn't have the cutter. I was kind of yanking a little bit, so I had just the 3 pitches. But later on, we found a groove and really had all 4 of my pitches working.
How nice is it to go into Sunday as a team, first time in SEC play, now the series wrapped up?
It's really excited, but we got to smell blood and get Sunday's game. It's important to win on Sundays, whether it's a sweep, getting not swept, or winning the series. So we'll be excited and fired up to go into Sunday.
Maybe a dumb question, but how much, when the guy's on base or some people on base and there's no traffic on base, how much, if anything, does that change your mindset going into facing just about anybody?
Really not much. Obviously, it's a little heightened sense. Extra base hit or something in the gaps, can hurt you, get a run in. But really just trying to compete and get them out with the pitch I'm throwing right then and there.
How important was getting out of that second inning? You have to get second and third, no outs. How important was that for you?
Big, because that was a big turning point. Momentum kind of switched our way a little bit. Holman threw a really good game for them, so he kept us at ease for a little while. But it kept things pretty even. It kept the energy up.
Is there a little extra motivation knowing that Holman's on the other side and a guy like that shoots be at your best?
Absolutely, yeah. I learned earlier in the week that they were going to move him to Saturday to face. I don't know if it was just a face-off against me or what it was, but known him for a little while, so it was exciting to get to go and face a high-caliber pitcher like him, and he threw really well for them.
What does it say about y'all's team when y'all won a lot of high-scoring games, but to kind of win and low-scoring pitchers doing like this?
It's good. It's good to see it before the playoffs, especially, and good to see at any time in the year. So excited. Really proud of the guys, how they just kept pushing and kept throwing their punches. They had a lot of barrels early that got caught and made some really good plays in the outfield. So it was good to see them just keep persevering and keep pushing through it.
How much fun was it watching Snead in the final couple innings there?
He was throwing Chad, so it was a lot of fun seeing that. He's pretty special, so it's a really good arm. he brings a lot of emotion and a lot of energy to our team. So it's really fun watching him get out there and do his thing.
Sure, I know you as a pitcher, you're probably between innings kind of locked in and focused on your things. So maybe you're not the best guy to ask, but what was the kind of the flavor of the dugout there throughout the game? You know, that y'all weren't getting much going offensively. That's different for y'all. What was the vibe of the dugout?
Yeah, the vibes, I commend the guys who were on the bench. They did a really good job of keeping the energy up. They kept everything high. You know, we were barreling the balls, they were getting caught. So honestly, they kept everything going and, you know, didn't let us get into a lull where we were down in the dugout. So commend to them.
Anything else for Drew?
So how much of your off season was focused at all on getting better against lefties? And really hit the ball out here?
Yeah, it was a big focus for the fall and winter, but also it was just I felt like all around my all around game, just outfield reps, obviously facing lefties and righties too. So.
What was your mindset going to that at bat and when the pitching change was made?
When they had the little scouting report out on usually it's the dude that's warming up in the pen. So I had a good idea that they were going to go to a lefty for me. And when they brought him in, I also had a pretty good idea he was going to go first pitch slider, and he did, and put a good swing on it.
Was that a tip you were given before going to the box, or was that something you just sort of guessed?
It was on the sheet, but also a lot of the lefties I've been facing this year have been going slider to me a lot, so I had a pretty good idea.
You guys have won a lot of high-scoring games this season. What does it say to win such a tight, low-scoring game? What's it say about y'all?
I mean, it was just gritty, pretty gritty effort from us. Pitching, I mean, everyone was phenomenal today. Beam, Sneed threw really well, and honestly, Banky came in and did his job, so props to them.
What was Holman doing so well? What makes him so difficult to face?
I thought he was just mixing his stuff really well. His slider maybe wasn't as best as it's been for the year, but just mixing and hitting spots really well, I thought.
What was the vibe like in the dugout throughout the game? Because y'all don't have a lot of low-scoring games like that. What was the vibe?
I think the vibe was the same as it always is. With an offense like ours, it just takes one inning, and it's kind of been our mindset all year, and nothing changed today.
Did things loosen up a little bit, I guess, when Burt got that infield single, then Billy came up and things got flowing a bit?
Yeah, it was good to get some guys on base.
What would going through your head going into that at-bat, how much different would you have felt in an at-bat like that last year? I mean, would it have felt different to you or not?
I probably would have been a little more sped up last year. This year, I've just, trusting the work I put in the cages and really just going up there and competing versus last year I thought I was, guessing a little more than I am this year.
Anything else for Dylan? Thanks, Dylan.